In the burning sands of ancient Egypt, one creature ruled both fear and faith, the lion. A beast of divine wrath, royal power, and eternal mystery. But what if the lion wasn't just an animal, but a god? Deep in the blazing deserts of ancient Egypt, one creature captured both fear and reverence, the lion. Its roar echoed through the golden dunes, symbolizing power, protection, and divine wrath. To the people of the Nile, the lion was not merely an animal. It was a living force of nature, a guardian of order, and a reflection of the gods themselves. In early carvings and pottery from pre-dynastic Egypt, the lion appears beside kings, warriors, and the rising sun. It marked the dawn of civilization, when humans began to see divine power in the strength of the beast. As Egypt grew into a kingdom of gods and pyramids, the lion's image became ever more sacred, woven into the very identity of pharaohs and temples. The lion was not just a symbol, it was a presence. A divine guardian standing between chaos and order, desert and life, mortal and divine. The pharaoh, as the living embodiment of Horus on earth, was expected to be a lion among men. This was not a mere metaphor, it was a fundamental aspect of royal ideology. A sacred duty to embody the lion's ferocity in battle and its serene majesty in times of peace. Pharaohs were frequently depicted as sphinx creatures with the body of a lion and the head of a human, a powerful fusion, symbolizing their dual nature. This iconic form represented the king's divine intellect combined with the untamed physical power of the lion, a guardian of the sacred realm. The Great Sphinx of Giza, perhaps the most famous monument on earth, stands as an eternal testament to this belief, its leonine body protecting the royal necropolis for millennia. Pharaohs like Amenhotep III even styled themselves as the dazzling sun disk, a title that connected them directly to the solar power of Ra and by extension, the lion. Inscriptions and reliefs show him fearlessly hunting lions from his chariot, a ritual act not of conquest over nature, but of absorbing the lion's divine essence to prove his worthiness to rule. The lion's connection to royalty was so profound that pharaohs kept them as royal pets within their palace grounds. These were not just exotic companions. They were living symbols of the king's dominion over the most powerful forces of the natural world. Tamed lions would accompany the pharaoh in processions and even into battle, their presence a terrifying psychological weapon against enemies and a visible sign of the king's divine favor. The legendary warrior king, Ramesses II, famously documented his lion companion, slayer of his foes, fighting alongside him at the Battle of Kadesh. These royal lions were often buried with the same honors as high-ranking officials, sometimes even mummified, and placed in their own tombs, ensuring their powerful spirit would continue to protect their king in the afterlife. The discovery of a mummified lion at Saqqara confirms these were not just myths, but a tangible part of courtly and religious life, a testament to the deep personal bond between the ruler and the sacred beast. This relationship elevated the pharaoh from a mere man to a divine being, a true lion of Egypt. Beyond the throne, the lion was woven into the very fabric of Egyptian cosmology, representing some of its most powerful and feared deities. The goddess Sekhmet, the powerful one, was depicted as a lioness-headed woman, a being of terrifying duality. She was the bringer of plagues and destruction, the fiery eye of the sun god Ra sent to punish humanity for its disobedience. Her breath was the scorching desert wind, her roar the harbinger of death. Yet Sekhmet was also a goddess of healing and protection. Priests conducted elaborate rituals to appease her wrath, transforming her destructive fury into a potent force for warding off disease and evil. Her temples were filled with hundreds of statues, each one a vessel to pacify her rage and channel her protective power. This duality represented the Egyptian understanding of nature itself, a force that could be both devastatingly cruel and wonderfully life-giving. The lioness, as the fiercest hunter, embodied this balance perfectly. This divine connection extended to other gods as well. The god Meas, son of the cat goddess Bastet, was a lion-headed god of war, weather, and darkness, a fierce protector of the pharaoh and the innocent. His name meant, "he who is true beside her," and he was seen as a guardian of divine order, devouring the guilty. Similarly, the god Aker was an ancient earth deity depicted as two lions seated back to back, one facing the sunrise and the other the sunset. These two lions, named Tomorrow and Yesterday, guarded the entrance and exit of the underworld, protecting the sun god Rael on his perilous nightly journey through the darkness. They symbolized the horizons, the eternal cycle of day and night, life and death. Worshipping these lion gods was not just an act of faith. It was a necessary ritual to maintain Madad, the cosmic balance of truth, order, and justice. The lion's image in temples and on amulets served as a constant reminder of the raw, untamable power of the gods, a power that demanded respect, reverence, and appeasement. The lion's significance transcended life, playing a crucial role in the Egyptian vision of the afterlife. As guardians of the horizon, lions were protectors of the soul's journey into eternity. Funerary texts and tomb paintings often depict leonine figures guarding the gates of the underworld, ensuring that only the worthy could pass. Funerary beds were frequently carved with lion heads and feet, transforming the resting place of the deceased into a sacred vessel. By sleeping on the back of the lion, the departed soul was believed to be infused with the creature's strength and vitality, reborn with the power to overcome the dangers of the afterlife. This symbolism was so potent that even the canopic jars, which held the mummified organs of the deceased, were placed under the protection of lion-headed deities. The lion was a symbol of resurrection. Just as the sun was reborn from the horizon each morning, the soul was believed to be reborn from the lion's back into the eternal fields of Aru. This belief was not merely symbolic. It was enacted through powerful rituals. The opening of the mouth ceremony, performed on the mummy to restore its senses for the afterlife, was often conducted by a priest wearing a leopard or lion skin, channeling the animal's life-giving power. Amulets in the shape of lions were placed within the mummy's wrappings, serving as potent talismans to ward off evil spirits and grant the deceased the courage of the sacred beast. These weren't just trinkets, they were keys to immortality. The two lions of Aker guarding the sun's passage also guarded the soul's passage. To the ancient Egyptians, death was not an end, but a transition, a dangerous journey that required a powerful guardian. The lion, with its solar connections and unyielding strength, was the ultimate protector, a divine ferryman between the world of the living and the realm of the gods, ensuring the soul's safe passage and ultimate rebirth. The lion's roar has long faded from the banks of the Nile, and the great temples now stand as silent monuments to a lost world. Yet the spirit of the sacred beast endures, its image carved into stone and memory. From the fearsome gaze of Sekhmet to the serene majesty of the Sphinx, the lion remains a powerful symbol of ancient Egypt's soul. It represents the duality of existence, the savage fury of the desert, and the protective warmth of the sun, the terror of divine wrath, and the promise of eternal life. The lion was more than an animal, more than a symbol. It was a divine force, a king's alter ego, a guardian of the dead, and a god in its own right. The secrets of the sacred beast are the secrets of Egypt itself, a civilization that saw in the eyes of the lion a reflection of its own power, its own fears, and its own eternal quest for immortality. The lion of the Pharaohs no longer walks the burning sands, but its legacy is immortal, a timeless guardian of a civilization that dared to see the divine in the heart of the beast. Did you know that in ancient Egypt, the lion was more than just an animal? It was the ultimate symbol of royal power. Pharaohs proudly called themselves the lions of Egypt, believing they were the protectors of the land and the chosen sons of the sun god Ra. These magnificent beasts were kept in royal courts, their raw strength inspiring kings and warriors. You'd see lion imagery everywhere, on chariots and shields, representing divine courage in the heat of battle. And of course, who can forget the Great Sphinx of Giza? With its human head for intelligence and a lion's body for might, it's the perfect fusion of wisdom and power, guarding the pharaohs for eternity. When a pharaoh marched to war, it was said he fought like a lion among jackals. The fierce, regal, and unstoppable spirit of the lion was the very reflection of Egyptian kingship. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe for more secrets from the ancient world. Intro music begins, grand and mysterious, then fades to a soft, ambient track. Have you ever wondered why the lion, a creature of the African savanna, became one of the most powerful symbols in ancient Egypt? It wasn't just an animal. It was a living embodiment of divinity, royalty, and untamed power. Today, we journey back thousands of years to uncover the secrets of the sacred beast and explore why the pharaohs saw themselves in the eyes of the lion. Welcome to the Lion of the Pharaohs. In the deserts and floodplains of ancient Egypt, where survival depended on strength and order, the lion was the undisputed king. Its roar echoed through the wadis, a sound that commanded both fear and respect. The Egyptians, Keen observers of the natural world saw more than just a predator. They saw a symbol of supreme authority, a perfect metaphor for their divine rulers. This wasn't just admiration. It was a deep spiritual connection that would shape their art, their religion, and their very concept of kingship for millennia. The lion became the ultimate emblem of royal power. In the grand courts of the pharaohs, from Memphis to Thebes, the lion was far more than a wild beast. It was a statement. Pharaohs proudly declared themselves the lions of Egypt, a title that meant they were not just kings, but fierce protectors of the land and the chosen sons of the sun god, Ra. The parallels were undeniable. The lion, with its golden mane, was seen as a terrestrial reflection of the sun, and Ra, the most powerful of all gods, was often depicted with a lion's head. This divine link elevated the pharaoh beyond a mere mortal ruler. He was the lion on earth, tasked with maintaining the cosmic balance of truth, order, and justice. To bring this powerful symbolism to life, lions were often kept in royal menageries. These weren't zoos in the modern sense. They were sacred enclosures where the divine power of the animal could be witnessed up close. Imagine the sight: a pharaoh walking beside a leashed lion, a living symbol of his control over the forces of nature. This image sent a clear message to foreign dignitaries and his own subjects alike. The king of Egypt possessed the strength and ferocity of the mightiest of beasts. His rule was absolute, his power untamable. The strength of these royal beasts inspired warriors and kings, a constant reminder of the courage required to lead and protect a great civilization. This reverence for the lion wasn't confined to the palace grounds. It permeated every aspect of military life. When the Egyptian army marched to war, they carried the spirit of the lion with them. Chariots, the formidable tanks of the ancient world, were often adorned with intricate lion carvings. Shields, the first line of defense, bore the snarling face of a lion, intended to strike terror into the hearts of their enemies before a single sword was drawn. These images weren't just decoration. They were powerful talismans believed to grant the soldiers the lion's courage and invoke the pharaoh's divine favor in battle. To fight under the sign of the lion was to fight with the backing of the gods and the king. And of course, no discussion of lions in Egypt is complete without mentioning the most famous guardian of them all, the Great Sphinx of Giza. For over 4,500 years, this colossal monument has watched over the desert, an eternal sentinel guarding the pyramids of the pharaohs. The Sphinx is the perfect fusion of intellect and might. It has the head of a human often believed to be the pharaoh Khafre, representing wisdom, intelligence, and royal will. But its body is that of a powerful, recumbent lion, symbolizing immense strength and divine protection. Together, they embody the dual nature of the ideal ruler, a king who governs with foresight and wisdom, but who possesses the raw power to defend his kingdom against all threats. The Sphinx is not just a statue. It is the eternal strength of the pharaoh, carved in stone for all time. The connection between the pharaoh and the lion was most potent on the battlefield. Ancient texts and temple reliefs are filled with vivid descriptions of the king's prowess in combat. When the pharaoh went to war, he wasn't just leading his troops. He was said to transform to embody the animal's spirit. He fought, as the scribes would write, like a lion among a herd of gazelles, or like a lion among jackals. These weren't just poetic flourishes. They described a king who was fierce, dominant, and utterly unstoppable. In famous depictions like the battle reliefs of Ramesses II at Abu Simbel, the pharaoh is shown larger than life in his chariot, single-handedly scattering his enemies, with his loyal war lions fighting by his side. The creature's very essence, regal, ferocious, and decisive, became the perfect mirror of Egyptian kingship itself. To be a pharaoh was to be the lion. This profound symbolism wasn't just about power and war. It also represented protection in the afterlife. The lion god Aker, depicted as two lions facing away from each other, guarded the entrance and exit of the underworld. They watched over the sun's daily journey through the darkness, ensuring its rebirth every morning. By associating with the lion, the pharaoh wasn't just securing his power on earth. He was ensuring his own eternal cycle of rebirth, just like the sun god Rhea. Lion-headed deities like the fierce goddess Sekhmet were both destroyers and healers, capable of unleashing plagues but also of protecting those loyal to the pharaoh. The lion was a complex symbol of the dual nature of power, the ability to destroy and the duty to protect. From the golden masks of pharaohs to the towering statues that still inspire awe today, the image of the lion is woven into the very fabric of ancient Egypt. It was a symbol of divine right, a tool of military intimidation, and a promise of eternal protection. The lion of the pharaohs was more than just an animal. It was the sacred heart of a civilization embodying the timeless power, majesty, and mystery of Egypt itself. The next time you see the Sphinx, or a relief of a battle-ready pharaoh, look closer. You'll see the spirit of the lion, the sacred beast that defined what it meant to be a king. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the past. If you enjoyed uncovering these ancient secrets, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history. Let us know in the comments what other historical mysteries you'd like us to explore next. Until then, stay curious. We re-journeying back to the land of pyramids and pharaohs to uncover the secrets of one of ancient Egypt's most revered and feared animals, the lion. Far more than just a powerful predator, the lion was seen as a divine being, a living embodiment of the gods themselves. So grab your gear and let's step into the shadow of the Sphinx to explore the lion's sacred legacy. Did you know that lions once roamed the deserts and grasslands of ancient Egypt? They weren't just a part of the landscape. They were woven into the very fabric of Egyptian spirituality and power. For the pharaohs, the lion was the ultimate symbol of kingship. Its immense strength, courage, and majestic presence mirrored the qualities a ruler needed to command respect and protect their kingdom. When you look at ancient Egyptian art, you'll see lions everywhere. Pharaohs are often depicted as sphinx, part human, part lion, to show their divine connection and authority. Think about the Great Sphinx of Giza, guarding the pyramids with its silent, eternal gaze. This monumental statue isn't just a masterpiece of engineering, it's a powerful statement. It tells the world that the pharaoh is as mighty and watchful as the king of beasts. Hunting lions was also a significant royal activity, but it wasn't just for sport. These hunts were highly symbolic rituals. When a pharaoh successfully hunted a lion, it was seen as a demonstration of his power over the forces of chaos and nature. It was a public display of his ability to maintain order, or single quotes at asterisk, and protect Egypt from all threats. These scenes were carved into temple walls, serving as a permanent reminder of the pharaoh's divine right to rule. The lion wasn't just an animal. It was the ultimate test of a king's worth. But the lion's divine nature took its most powerful form in Egyptian mythology. This is where things get really fascinating. Let's talk about Sekhmet, the lioness-headed goddess. She was the daughter of the sun god Rhea, and she embodied a terrifying duality: destruction and healing. There's a powerful myth about her. When humanity rebelled against the gods, a furious Ra unleashed Sekhmet to punish them. Her rage was unstoppable. With the ferocity of a lioness, she went on a rampage, and her thirst for blood was so insatiable that she came dangerously close to wiping out all of mankind. The other gods were horrified. They had wanted to teach humanity a lesson, not annihilate them. So Ra came up with a clever plan. He ordered his priests to brew vast quantities of beer and dye it red with ochre to look like blood. They poured this mixture all over the fields where Sekhmet was continuing her slaughter. When she saw the red liquid, she eagerly began to drink it, thinking it was more blood. She drank so much that she became intoxicated, fell asleep, and her murderous rage finally subsided. When she awoke, her wrath was calmed, and humanity was saved. This story is key to understanding her character. After this event, Sekhmet became both feared and worshipped. She was the goddess of war, fire, and plague, the Lady of Slaughter, whose breath was the hot desert wind. People prayed to her to avert disasters and epidemics. But because she also had the power to stop plagues, she became a powerful goddess of medicine and healing. Her priests were some of ancient Egypt's most skilled physicians. They understood that the same force that could destroy could also mend and restore. She was the ultimate representation of nature's fierce but protective power. Alongside Sekhmet stood Meas, the male lion god. If Sekhmet was the fiery, destructive aspect of the sun, Meas was its protective and just side. Often depicted as a lion-headed man holding a knife and a bouquet of lotus flowers, he was a guardian of justice and a protector of the pharaoh. He was sometimes called the Lord of the Massacre, but his violence was always directed at the enemies of Egypt and the unjust. Together, Sekhmet and Meas represented the sun's twin aspects: its scorching wrath, and its life-giving warmth and protection. To the ancient Egyptians, the lion was more than just a symbol. It was the living breath of the sun god Re. They believed that every sunrise was like the awakening of a great celestial lion. The first rays of light spreading across the horizon were seen as its golden mane, and the sound of the wind across the desert was the whisper of its mighty roar. The lion's daily cycle of hunting at dusk and dawn mirrored the sun's journey across the sky. The lion wasn't just like the sun. In a way, it was the sun manifest on earth. So how did the Egyptians honor these sacred beasts? They kept lions in captivity within temple precincts. These weren't just zoo animals. They were considered living manifestations of gods like Sekhmet and Maes. Priests would care for them, feed them, and perform rituals in their honor. Archaeological discoveries have unearthed lion cemeteries, where these revered animals were mummified and buried with the same care and respect given to high-ranking humans. At sites like Saqqara, archaeologists found mummified lion cubs, suggesting a widespread cult dedicated to these animals. These weren't just pets. They were holy icons, treated with the utmost reverence. Even the pharaohs themselves kept lions as personal companions, a practice that further blurred the line between the ruler and the divine. The most famous example is Ramesses the Great, who is said to have a pet lion that accompanied him into battle. Can you imagine the sight? The pharaoh charging into the fray with a lion fighting by his side. It was the ultimate display of power and divine favor, a clear message to his enemies that he was protected by the gods themselves. From symbols of royalty and divine guardians to living gods kept in temples, the lion held an incredibly important place in the heart of ancient Egypt. It represented the untamed power of nature, the authority of the pharaoh, and the dual nature of the divine capable of both fearsome destruction and gentle protection. The roar of the lion was the voice of the gods, echoing across the sands of time. It's a powerful reminder of how ancient cultures saw the divine in the world around them, finding profound meaning in the eyes of the king of beasts. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into ancient Egypt. We'll see you in the next one. Step into the world of ancient Egypt, a land of gods, pharaohs, and monumental wonders. As we journey through the sun-drenched ruins of its once mighty temples, one creature greets us at every turn, a silent guardian carved from stone and painted in gold, the lion. Its image is more than just decoration. It's a powerful symbol, a sacred language that speaks of protection, royalty, and the eternal cosmos. From the colossal gateways of Karnak to the hidden chambers of the Valley of the Kings, the lion's presence is a constant, a testament to its profound significance in the hearts and minds of the ancient Egyptians. Join us as we uncover the secrets of this sacred beast and explore how the lion became an immortal icon, its roar echoing through millennia of art, myth, and architecture. Imagine walking through the grand pylons of an ancient temple, the desert wind whispering secrets of the past. As you pass through the gates, you're not alone. Flanking the entrance are stone lions, their bodies tense, their eyes fixed on the horizon. These aren't mere statues. They are eternal sentinels. In ancient Egypt, lions were the ultimate protectors, believed to possess the power to ward off chaos and evil. Placing them at the entrances to sacred spaces like temples and palaces was a declaration of divine security. They symbolized the threshold between the mortal world and the sacred realm, ensuring that only the worthy could enter. Their stoic, unblinking gaze represented perpetual vigilance, a promise that the sanctity of the place would be protected for all time, day and night. This role as guardian extended beyond the physical world, tying directly into the Egyptian concept of cosmic order, or Mat, where the lion stood as a fierce defender against the forces of darkness that threatened to unravel creation. Now let's shrink our perspective, from monumental gateways to the palm of a hand. The lion's protective power wasn't just reserved for grand architecture. It was personal. Archaeologists have unearthed countless amulets, small charms made from gold, lapis lazuli and faience, all bearing the intricate form of a lion. These were not simply pieces of jewelry. For the ancient Egyptians, these amulets were vessels of divine power. A miniature lion figure, worn as a necklace or a bracelet, was believed to grant the wearer the strength, courage, and ferocity of the animal itself. It was a personal bodyguard, a source of inner fortitude. Even more profoundly, these amulets played a crucial role in the most important journey of all, the journey to the afterlife. During the mummification process, Tiny lion amulets were carefully placed among the mummy's linen wrappings, often over the heart or chest. It was believed that these sacred figures would protect the deceased's soul, or ba, as it navigated the treacherous paths of the Duat, the Egyptian underworld, safeguarding it from demons and ensuring its safe passage to the final judgment and the promise of eternal life. Let's venture into the hallowed silence of the Valley of the Kings, the final resting place of Egypt's most powerful pharaohs. Here, deep within the earth, in the tombs of legendary rulers like Thutmose III and Ramses the Great, the lion's image takes on a new dimension of royal power. The walls of these tombs are covered in vibrant, detailed reliefs and paintings that tell stories of divine authority and military conquest. In these scenes, the pharaoh is often depicted as a lion or a sphinx, a hybrid of a lion's body and a human head, symbolizing his dual nature as both a mortal ruler and a divine being. When the pharaoh is shown in his war chariot, lions are often running alongside him, not as pets, but as manifestations of his own royal fury and unstoppable might. In other scenes, the pharaoh single-handedly slays a lion, a symbolic act demonstrating his absolute control over the most powerful forces of nature, proving his worthiness to rule and maintain cosmic order. These images weren't just propaganda. They were a theological statement, linking the pharaoh directly to the gods and cementing his legacy as a victorious, divine king. The lion's influence permeated every aspect of Egyptian artistry, extending into the exquisite world of personal adornment. The jewelry of ancient Egypt was more than just beautiful. It was laden with symbolism, and the lion was a favorite motif for those who could afford it. Royal goldsmiths crafted magnificent pectorals, large chest ornaments, featuring lions in heroic poses, often rendered in solid gold and inlaid with precious stones. Rings, bracelets, and earrings also bore the lion's head or full body. A courtier wearing a lion-headed ring wasn't just making a fashion statement. They were channeling the lion's protective aura and displaying their loyalty to the pharaoh, who was the ultimate human embodiment of the lion's power. For a soldier, a lion-emblazoned piece of armor was a prayer for courage in battle. For a queen, it represented her connection to powerful goddesses like Sekhmet. By wearing the lion's image, Egyptians believed they could carry a fragment of divine power close to their heart, a constant reminder of the strength and protection the gods offered. But the lion wasn't just a symbol of earthly power. It was deeply woven into the fabric of Egyptian cosmology and their understanding of the universe itself. The Egyptians were keen observers of the natural world, and they saw in the lion a connection to the sun. Their most powerful deity, Ra, the lion's golden coat and magnificent mane, were seen as a direct reflection of the sun's rays. This connection gave rise to the Aker, a mythological deity depicted as two lions fused together, sitting back to back. One lion faced west, representing yesterday and the setting sun, while the other faced east, representing tomorrow and the rising sun. Between them, they supported the horizon, with the sun disk held aloft. The Aker symbolized the entire cycle of time past, present, and future, and guarded the gateway between day and night. By depicting lions as the guardians of the sun's daily journey across the sky and its nightly passage through the underworld, the Egyptians elevated the animal to a cosmic level. The lion wasn't just a king of beasts. It was a pillar of creation, essential to the eternal rhythm of the universe. One of the most powerful and feared leonine deities in the Egyptian pantheon was Sekhmet, the powerful one. Often depicted as a woman with the head of a lioness, crowned with the solar disk, Sekhmet was a goddess of immense duality. She was the fierce eye of Ra, an instrument of divine vengeance sent to punish humanity for its disobedience. Myths tell of her unleashing plagues and destruction with her fiery breath, her fury nearly wiping out all of mankind. Yet Sekhmet was also a goddess of healing and protection. Priests of Sekhmet were renowned as skilled physicians, and it was believed that by appeasing her, her destructive power could be transformed into a potent force for curing disease and protecting the pharaoh in battle. Hundreds of statues of Sekhmet were erected in temples, particularly at Karnak, in a massive ritual effort to pacify her wrath and harness her protective qualities. This duality perfectly captures the Egyptian view of the lion, an embodiment of untamable, destructive power that, if respected and understood, could become the greatest of protectors. Sekhmet reminds us that in the Egyptian worldview, creation and destruction were two sides of the same coin, and the lion stood at the center of this awesome balance. As the dynasties of Egypt rose and fell, the image of the lion endured, adapting to new rulers and new ideas but never losing its core meaning. Through the masterful hands of ancient artists and architects, the lion was transformed from a creature of the savannah into an immortal icon. In stone, it became the eternal guardian. In gold, it became a vessel of divine strength. In myth, it became a cornerstone of the cosmos itself. Every relief carved into a temple wall, every amulet laid upon a mummy, and every story painted in a pharaoh's tomb was a deliberate act of immortalization. The Egyptians understood that while flesh and bone may decay, the power of a symbol can last forever. By weaving the lion so deeply into their art and religion, they ensured that its spirit would never truly die. Its image, frozen in time, continues to command respect and awe, a powerful reminder of a civilization that saw in this magnificent beast the very reflection of the sacred. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of ancient Egypt. The lion is just one of the many fascinating secrets hidden within this incredible civilization. We retracing the incredible journey of a symbol that roared its way out of ancient Egypt and into the heart of civilizations across the world, the mighty lion. The story of the lion didn't end at the borders of the Nile Valley. As Egypt's power and influence expanded, so too did the legacy of its most sacred beast. Let's travel south, into the lands of Nubia, a powerful kingdom that both rivaled and admired Egypt. Here, the pharaoh's lion found a new home. Nubian kings, the great rulers of Kush, adopted the lion as their own royal emblem. They saw in it the same qualities the Egyptians revered: strength, courage, and divine right to rule. Carvings and statues from the Nubian capitals of Kerma, Napata, and Meru show their kings as powerful lions or accompanied by them, a clear inheritance from their northern neighbors. The lion became a shared symbol of African kingship, a testament to its universal appeal. But the journey didn't stop there. As trade routes and diplomatic ties stretched across the ancient Near East, the lion's roar echoed into the powerful empires of Mesopotamia. In the grand palaces of Assyria and Babylon, the image of the lion was everywhere. Think of the famous Ishtar Gate of Babylon, adorned with rows of golden-maned lions, their muscles rippling. These weren't just decorations. They were potent symbols of the king's power and the favor of the gods. The Assyrians, known for their military prowess, depicted their kings hunting lions in dramatic reliefs, a ritual that proved their strength and mastery over the wild. The roaring lion became a universal shorthand for royalty, its origins deeply rooted in the traditions of the Nile. From the sands of the East, the lion's tail sailed across the Mediterranean to ancient Greece. The Greeks, ever fascinated by the mysteries of Egypt, wove the lion into their own rich tapestry of mythology. Does the story of Heracles and the Nemean lion ring a bell? The tale of a hero battling an invincible lion whose hide could not be pierced by weapons is thought to have been inspired by Egyptian stories of the pharaoh's divine power over these magnificent creatures. The Egyptian concept of the Sphinx, a lion's body with a human head, also captivated the Greek imagination, although they gave it a unique twist, transforming it into a female creature who posed riddles. The lion as a guardian, a protector of sacred spaces, evolved as well. This idea found a new form in the Lamassu of Mesopotamia, the colossal winged bulls or lions with human heads that stood sentinel at the gates of cities and palaces, warding off evil. These awe-inspiring guardians are direct descendants of the Egyptian Sphinx that watched over the pyramids for millennia. They are a powerful example of how an idea can travel, adapt, and take on new life in a different culture. And what about today? You might be surprised to learn how present this ancient Egyptian symbol still is in our modern world. Take a look at the British Royal Coat of Arms. What do you see supporting the shield? A crowned lion representing England. Look at the flags and emblems of countries from Sri Lanka to Belgium, from Singapore to Iran. The lion is there, a persistent symbol of courage, nobility, and national strength. Think of the iconic stone lions that guard the entrance to the New York Public Library, or the lion statues found in city squares all over the globe. Each one carries a faint, ancient echo of the sacred beast that once walked beside the pharaohs. From its origins as a divine hunter on the banks of the Nile, the lion has become one of the most enduring symbols in human history. It has represented gods, protected pharaohs, and graced the banners of kings and empires. Its image has been carved in stone, painted on walls, and woven into myths that are still told today. The lion's roar has not faded with time. It has simply traveled, adapted, and found new meaning in new lands. Its journey is a remarkable story of cultural exchange, a testament to how a powerful idea, born in the golden sands of Egypt, can conquer the world and live on for eternity. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey through history. If you enjoyed uncovering the secrets of the Pharaoh's lion, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss an adventure into the past. Let me know in the comments which ancient symbol you'd like us to explore next. Until then, stay curious. Have you ever wondered why the lion, a creature of the African savanna, became one of the most powerful symbols in ancient Egypt? It wasn't just about strength or royalty. To the Egyptians, the lion was something far more profound. It was the earthly incarnation of the sun god, Ra. Join us as we journey back in time to uncover the secrets of the sacred beast, the Lion of the Pharaohs. Scene shifts to animations depicting early Egyptian life along the Nile, showing lions as both a threat and an object of awe. Imagine the world of the ancient Egyptians 5,000 years ago. Life flourished along the fertile banks of the Nile, but beyond this ribbon of green lay the vast, unforgiving desert. And in that wilderness roamed a creature of immense power and majesty, the lion. For the early inhabitants of the Nile Valley, the lion was a terrifying predator, a real and present danger. Its roar could shatter the stillness of the night, a sound that promised destruction. Yet this fear was mixed with a deep, profound respect. They saw in the lion not just a killer, but a symbol of untamable, raw, natural power. This duality of fear and admiration laid the foundation for the lion's journey from a wild beast to a divine symbol. They didn't just see a hunter. They saw a king of the wild, a master of its domain, and this perception would echo through millennia of Egyptian culture. Visuals transitioned to detailed carvings and statues of pharaohs alongside lions. Focus on images of Ramesses II and his famous lion. As Egypt grew from scattered settlements into a mighty empire, the image of the lion evolved with it. The pharaoh, the living god on earth, needed a symbol that could encapsulate his absolute power. What better symbol than the most powerful predator they knew? The pharaoh became the Lion of Egypt. This wasn't just a fancy title, it was a declaration of his divine right and might. In battle, the pharaoh was said to possess the heart of a lion, charging into the fray with unmatched ferocity. Reliefs on temple walls show kings like Ramesses II fighting alongside a pet lion, a ferocious companion that tore through enemy ranks. This powerful imagery served as potent propaganda, sending a clear message to all. The pharaoh's strength was as unstoppable and ferocious as the lion itself. He wasn't just a ruler. He was a warrior king, embodying the sacred beast's courage and righteous fury, protecting Egypt from chaos. Focus on the Great Sphinx of Giza, with sweeping drone shots and close-ups on its face and lion body. But the lion's role wasn't limited to the chaos of the battlefield. It was also a guardian of order, a keeper of sacred boundaries. And there is no greater testament to this than the Great Sphinx of Giza. With the body of a lion and the head of a king, this colossal statue has guarded the Giza Plateau for over 4,500 years. It is the ultimate fusion of royal power and divine animal strength. The Sphinx represents the pharaoh as the protector of his people, eternally watchful. Its lion body symbolizes immense strength held in check, a power used not for destruction but for preservation. The Sphinx faces the rising sun, connecting it directly to the solar cycle of death and rebirth. It is a guardian of the horizon, the point where the earthly and divine worlds meet. In this monumental form, the lion is no longer just a warrior, but a timeless sentinel, embodying the stability and eternity of the Egyptian kingdom itself. Scene moves to depictions of lion-headed deities, like Sekhmet and Aker. The lion's divine connection didn't stop with the pharaoh. It was woven directly into the pantheon of gods and goddesses. Meet Sekhmet, the lioness-headed goddess of war, plague, and healing. She was the powerful one, the fierce eye of the sun god Re, sent to punish humanity for its transgressions. Her breath was the hot desert wind, and her fury was unstoppable. Yet Sekhmet also had a protective side. As a goddess of healing, she could cure the very plagues she created. This duality perfectly captures the Egyptian understanding of the lion, a force of terrifying destruction that could also be a source of protection and renewal. Then there was the god Aker, a double lion deity who guarded the entrance and exit of the underworld. One lion faced west, where the sun set, and the other faced east, where it rose again. Acres symbolized the eternal cycle of yesterday and tomorrow, guarding the sun's perilous journey through the darkness of night, ensuring a new dawn. Show animations of the sun's journey through the underworld, guarded by lion figures. This role as guardian of the sun's journey is one of the lion's most critical symbolic functions. The ancient Egyptians believed that each night, the sun god Ra sailed his barge through the dangerous underworld, battling the forces of chaos led by the serpent Apep. To ensure his victory and the rising of a new day, he needed powerful protectors. The lion, with its solar connections and fierce nature, was the perfect candidate. Temple inscriptions and funerary texts often depict lions or lion-headed deities acting as guardians of the gates of the underworld, defending the sun god. This is why lions were often placed at the entrances to temples and tombs. They weren't just decorative. They were magical sentinels, protecting the sacred space from all evil and ensuring the continuation of the cosmic order. The lion's roar was seen as the sound of the rising sun, a triumphant announcement of victory over darkness. Visuals of lion amulets, furniture with lion paws, and other everyday objects. The lion's influence wasn't confined to grand temples and royal tombs. It permeated every level of Egyptian society. People wore amulets in the shape of lions for protection and courage. Beds and chairs were often carved with lion legs, not just for style, but to magically protect the sleeper or sitter from harm. The lion was a symbol of strength that ordinary people could draw upon in their daily lives. Even a simple game board found in Tutankhamun's tomb featured lion-shaped pieces. By incorporating the lion's image into their homes and onto their bodies, the Egyptians were constantly reinforcing their connection to its protective power. It was a way of bringing a piece of the divine, a fragment of royal and solar strength, into the mortal world. The lion was a universal symbol of power that every Egyptian, from the pharaoh to the farmer, could understand and revere. Shift back to majestic visuals of lions, the Nile and temple ruins as the video concludes. Across 5,000 years, the lion's image has endured from temple walls to modern flags, from myth to soul. To the ancient Egyptians, the lion was not only a guardian of kings but the living fire of the sun itself. Its roar was the dawn. Its strength was justice, its gaze eternal. The lion teaches us that true power lies not only in dominance but in protection, the harmony between destruction and creation. As the sun sets over the Nile, one truth remains clear. The lion was never just a beast. It was the heart of Egypt roaring forever through the sands of time. If the ancient roar of Egypt still echoes in your heart, follow our channel for more journeys into the forgotten myths of history. Thank you for watching. Let the past roar again.